Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Fizik Omna Performance Road Cycling Shoes. While Fizik is best known for their high-end carbon fiber shoes, they also offer more accessible performance options. The new Fizik Omna is their latest budget-friendly shoe that combines pro-level features and accessible price point. Packaging-wise, you can see very simple. You have a black cardboard box, Fizik printed on the top, our specific version, specs on the side, and this nice slide-out design. So we'll go ahead and take this out of the box and go over the specs. Retail price on this is $169.99, so it's actually quite affordable. You have an R5 Nylon Outsole, which has a stiffness index of 6 out of 10, according to Fizik scale. This has a micro-tex upper material, provides a nice soft and flexible upper with good ventilation. You have a single BOA Li2 dial, which is kind of cool to see. Normally you have a lower end dial, but this actually has Li2, which is micro-tightening and loosening. And you also have a wide air inlet on the front of the shoe. This also has a 3-bolt compatible sole setup, so you can use SPD-SL or LOOK Keo pedals. You can see as far as what comes with them, you basically get the shoes, and then a little pamphlet here with the user manual and warranty information in multiple languages. Now let's take a look at the weight of these shoes. These are the Euro 44 size. The left shoe comes in at 269 grams, while the right shoe is 266. Fizik markets the Omna as responsive, pure road cycling shoes for competitive cyclists looking for race-ready features and performance. With its $170 price point, it's far more affordable than most of Fizik's lineup, but still shares a lot of the same design features. Fizik currently offers these shoes in 6 different colors, from the muted black, gunmetal, and white options, as well as some brighter options like red and the cherry color we have here. It's almost a metallic finish. You can see a little bit of color shifting as the light hits it. It's really attractive design. You don't really see that often. Very minimal branding as well. You just have Fizik on the side and then along the heel. The upper is a micro-text polyurethane finish, so you can see very flexible. As a lot of modern shoes, there's not a lot of structure here. The dials are what really tightens it up, but there's no ridges or any obvious structure on the exterior. There's perforations all throughout these as well, so you can see the nice dots all along the side and the full tongue. This has a more traditional tongue design than a lot of other Fizik shoes, with this wide slit down the center and the separate, more lightweight material for the tongue. You can see it's also cut down the side, so it'll flex around your ankle. You won't have any pressure points. What's really cool about these shoes is you also have the BOA Li2 dial. Typically at this price point, you'd get a Velcro with a single lower end dial, but with this you actually get Li2, which is the full micro tightening and loosening. This is their low profile dial, so you can see much more attractive than their previous versions and gives you a lot of adjustability. So as you're riding, you just rotate it down clockwise or counterclockwise to tighten and loosen it. You also have these textile hoops for the cable routing rather than plastic, so this ensures a more uniform distribution and no pressure points. You do only have one dial though, so you can't adjust the front and then the top separately. There's only a single zone, and it's just a more traditional lacing with 3 rows. But otherwise really attractive, and you have this nice black material here and grippier material on the heel to ensure you don't slide out of the shoe. In terms of the sole, this is where the more affordable price point really kicks in. You have a nylon sole rather than full carbon fiber. This has a stiffness index of 6 out of 10 versus a lot of their carbon ones that are 10 out of 10. But the design is very similar. You have a raised center section that extends all the way back, molded in heel bumper and toe bumper. The heel bumper doesn't appear to be replaceable. On the other ones, there's actually a bolt here that you could theoretically replace, but this one just seems to be molded in. And then you have the air inlet on the front that lets air right through. So nice design, and you have 3-bolt compatibility. What's interesting is there's no fore and aft adjustability. These are just drilled at a single location, so that does mean the only adjustability you have is with the cleat themselves. So if you need to go beyond these measurements, you might want to purchase the different shoes, but otherwise, Very simple design, and you can see the markings here that help you place your cleat. And as far as the insole, pop that out and show you what that looks like. So it feels like a pretty standard foam insole. You can see it actually has some arch support built in, and it curves around, which is a nice feature. It also has this interesting little indentation here that helps with the metatarsal and contours around the inside of the shoe. You can also see the air inlet there, as well as the little perforations on the bottom. Now let's take a look at the Omna shoes on the road. As you can see here, that cherry color really looks great. You get a lot of reflections from that metallic finish, so it stands out, especially compared to the normal white and black shoes. Also has a really premium look. You have the Fizik logos, the accent on the back, and then the black nylon sole. So a great looking shoe overall, and you can see very flexible upper as well. So you have a lot of room to stretch your toe out. And we'd say the fit is similar to a Shimano shoe with a wide toe box, unlike a lot of Italian shoes which can be very narrow. You can also see that single dial also looks good with the upper placement. Again, here's a top view, and you can see plenty of room to stretch out. So if you're doing longer rides and your feet naturally swell up, you have the space to do that. Here you can see some riding footage with it. Overall, we're impressed with it. Obviously, it is a more budget shoe with the nylon sole, so you do feel a little bit of flex. But otherwise, it's quite comfortable and gives you a nice secure feel. You only really feel the flex when you're doing a sprint or high effort climb. And then you can feel the slight give that the shoe gives you. And that is actually more comfortable for a lot of people. But if you're a racer, you obviously want a carbon shoe. So it depends on your preference, but we say this is a great in-between shoe. If you don't want that stiffness, you have that additional comfort and flexibility. They also have great ventilation, so we felt really comfortable with them. And that single dial, even though it's placed on the top, still gives you enough adjustment with the Li2 micro adjustment each direction, so you can easily tighten it and then loosen it with little clicks as you're riding. So overall, really nice shoe, and it gives you that performance that you expect from a Fizik shoe, but with a more budget price, which comes with the downside of the nylon sole. Now let's compare the Omna with other shoes on the market. We actually have a couple other Fizik models here. We have the Stabilita Carbon. So quite a bit more expensive, dual dial setup, but you can see construction-wise pretty similar. And even though this is carbon fiber versus nylon, you can see the designs have very similar ridged edge with the air inlets and the bumpers. Big difference between the Omna and the Stabilita is obviously the stabilizer design. It actually has a cutout on the insole and goes all the way around. It's also full carbon fiber, which makes it so expensive. The Infinito Carbon Knit 2 is also a really high-end shoe from Fizik, but you can see similar designs. The big difference is obviously dual dials versus one dial. And you can see the face of this is a little bit lower profile than the Li2 on the Omna. But otherwise similar designs, but carbon fiber, stiffer, and just a little bit higher performance at a higher price. So it's a nice balance between the high-end designs, but with a little bit more flex and affordability. We also have the Shimano RC3. It's a single dial, and this is why I was kind of surprised to see an Li2 variation on the Omna. Most of them have a lower end version that only has one direction micro tightening, and then you have to do a full release by pulling up. You can see Shimano's gone with a little bit of a different design with this wraparound center dial versus the more traditional top dial. But you can see otherwise similar wraparound nylon construction, so a little bit more flex with perforations. Decathlon also has a Van Rysel shoe with a single A-top dial. This has a more traditional Velcro on the bottom rather than extending it all the way down. And I've always never liked the Velcro because there's not much adjustability here. So I do like the fact that Fizik has gone with a full 3-level wire lace setup rather than going with the Velcro. It's also higher end options like the Shimano S-PHYRE RC9, DMT KR0, and then the Bont Vaypor S, but these are all quite a bit more expensive, but you get the dual Li2 dials on all of them. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Fizik Omna. What I like about it is you have attractive colors, especially the cherry red color that we have in this review. It has a nice metallic finish that really stands out. You also have a single BOA Li2 dial, which gives you micro adjustments for tightening and loosening, which makes it really easy to adjust the fit while you're riding. The shoes are also comfortable and well ventilated, so they're great for summer riding. The main con for the shoe is the fact they do have nylon sole, so it does flex when you're sprinting and you feel it. So you may want a carbon shoe if you do a lot of sprinting or climbing, but for everything else or more recreational cyclists, they're really comfortable, especially on the trainer, as they do have a little bit of give. Taking everything into account, we'd give the Vento Omna shoes a 9.0 out of 10. These have premium style, but at a more budget-friendly price. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.